In this video, I'm going to show you a super easy trick that's going to help you jazz up some of the licks and patterns that you already know. Coming up. Welcome back to the channel. I'm RJ Ronquillo. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. On this channel, I do guitar lessons, gear demos and reviews, and other fun guitar related stuff. So if that's something that you're into, click the subscribe button now. So this is going to be a pretty quick and easy lesson for you, but it's a fun one, so bear with me. So I'm gonna show you a trick that I use all the time to sort of jazzify and outline the chords when I'm soloing and improvising. And this is a trick that you can not only use in jazz, but you can use it over blues, R&B, pop, whatever. I use it all the time. I probably use it way too much. It's super easy, and you can apply this trick to basically any kind of chord, triad, arpeggio that you know. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you kind of the fundamentals of it and how it works, and then feel free to apply it to all the stuff that you already know. So I'm going to teach you this lesson in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is to pick a triad or a chord shape. So for instance, let's pick A major. So if we're playing like an A major blues. So I might pick a triad. Hopefully most of us know this A major triad. So I'm playing the root note on the 4th string, 7th fret. The major 3rd is on the 3rd string, 6th fret. And the 5th is going to be on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So we have A, C sharp, E. Just the basic major triad. So that's step 1. So step 2 is we're going to play these 3 notes, but only with our middle finger. And what this will do is prep ourselves for the actual lick that I'm going to show you. Because our middle finger is the anchor finger. So you want to get your hand used to changing the position like this, which is kind of, you know, not the typical thing that we normally do as guitar players. So that's step 2. Step 3 is actually playing this lick on each of these notes. And the lick goes like this. Let me do it again slowly. So the lick starts out with our middle finger on the first note, which is our root note. We're going to do a downstroke on that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fret 1 fret above, which is a half step above, and we're going to use our ring finger. We're going to do an upstroke. And at the same time, we're going to do a double pull-off. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do a pull-off to the 7th fret, and then pull-off to the 6th fret, sorry. So a half step down. So it's got this chromaticism. And then we're going to end with a downstroke back on the root, where the first note that we started with. So the lick again goes like this. And that is basically the meat of this lick. So now that we know that pattern, or that mini lick, we're going to apply it to these other chord tones in the triad that we kind of mapped out already. So from here, we're going to switch over to the 6th fret of the 3rd string and do the same thing. See that? And then we're going to go up to the last chord tone, which is the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and do the same thing. So when you string these licks together, it nicely and jazzily outlines that A major tonality, right? A little bit of theory behind it. It's not really any particular scale necessarily. I mean, technically you could say it's like a chromatic scale, but really these are just like embellishment notes or approach notes, what they call them in jazz school. And we're kind of like just surrounding these chord tones with a half step above and a half step below So really, you could think of the lick as just being this kind of simple. But to make it more interesting, we are embellishing these chord tones. So it's like, think of it as surrounding the chord tones. And it's that chromaticism that creates a little bit of tension, which makes it jazzy. And that's basically it. Some tips that I would give to you are, you could phrase this different ways. So for instance, I might do a downstroke, and then I'll hammer on the next note instead of doing an upstroke. So instead of the original, which I showed you, I might do instead of. It just has a different feel, and also, depending on the tempo of the tune that I'm playing, it's a little bit easier to navigate. So now that you know this little trick, we can apply this to basically any kind of triad. For instance, if we were doing A minor, we could do the exact same trick. Oh yeah, and to end the lick, a lot of times I'll just go to the next note in that triad or the chord, which would be the root. You could also end the lick on the chord tone below it like this. So like I said, it'll work on any triad. So if we go to the D chord or the 4 chord of like a blues, if we're doing an A blues, and we use, let's try this triad. You could do that. And if you want to get super crazy, you could do this over like a 2-octave dominant 7 arpeggio. So if we're in A7 and we have, let's say, this shape or this arpeggio shape, so just a basic dominant 7 arpeggio. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I wouldn't do it that much, but you could, and it fits. Feel free to experiment with the chord shapes you know. For instance, let's go to this, the D campfire chord, and use that shape and do the same trick. You could end a song like that. I would limit this trick to either chords or arpeggios. I wouldn't play like a pentatonic scale. So let's do. It kind of gets weird when you do scalar type of patterns. So try it with chords, try it with triads. You could use it sparsely, or you could make a big grand spectacle out of it. It's totally up to you, whatever you feel. All right, guys, there you have it. I hope this was a quick and easy lesson for you. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I will put a link up to some cool guitar lesson stuff right here. And if you like this video, click that thumbs up, share it on all your socials if you'd be so kind. And if you'd like to see more videos like this or other cool guitar related content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.